Broadcasting live from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, this is TBC News. Our top stories. Dr. Mwinyi says Zanzibar's development plans on course. Moi accredited for its excellency. Good evening, I am Kanki Maibo. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and X pages at TBC Online. The President of Zanzibar and the Chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, calls on all the citizens to fully participate in the series of events to mark 61 years of Zanzibar Revolution. He made the call during his year-end public speech in Zanzibar, insisting that his government will continue to execute development plans in the year 2025.
Januari 2025.
When it reaches the 12th January 2025, Zanzibar will be marking 61 years of Zanzibar Revolution, the revolution that makes what Zanzibar is today. A series of events to mark the day have begun since 15th December 2024. As it is critical to mark the 61 years of the 1964 revolution, I call upon the citizens to fully participate in the series of events, which will include launches of various development projects. We have made great strides in revenue collections, infrastructure development in urban and rural areas, airports and ports, residential buildings, water, electricity distribution, and in water and in education and health sectors as well.
Pamoja na uimarishaji wa sekta ya elimu na afya kote nchini.
Meanwhile, Muhimbili Orthopedic Institute Moi has received accreditation certificate based on the international quality certification issued by the Southern African Development Community Accreditation Services, SADCAS, from Botswana. The process, which began in April 2021, the institute has succeeded to meet all the quality criteria set internationally for laboratory services, where the Moi Executive Director, Dr. Mpoki Ulisubiswa, says that the certificate is beneficial for the institute and the country in the health sector, as it will improve the quality of services and boost medical tourism.
Inaweka mizania sawa kwa majibu yanayotumiwa na madaktari.
The question of verification is very important in our field of work as doctors, because it sets the same scale for the answers used by doctors to make decisions when diagnosing a patient and give them treatment.
Taasisi yetu ya Moi ilianzishwa mwaka wa 1996.
Moi Institute was established in 1996, and during all this period, we were not certified in laboratory services, and the hospital as well. But since 2021, we started the process to reach international standards, and finally, in 2024, we have succeeded in this, which will also pave a way in medical tourism.
Residents of the Serengeti district in Mara region urge the government to speed up the construction process of the Mugumu Airport, as upon completion, it is expected to stimulate more economic activities in the district and the region as a whole. Here's a report by Upendo Mwakiembe, read by Faidha Ngaga.
The residents expect the airport to increase the number of tourists entering the Serengeti National Park, thus stimulating the economic activities benefiting the locals, unlike the current situation where tourists pass through the Arusha region or the neighboring country of Kenya due to the absence of an airport at the area. The residents urge the government to speed up the construction of the Mugumu International Airport at the Serengeti district.
Kwa kweli utaleta maendeleo. Ni maendeleo ya namna gani?
Once that airport is built, it will bring about development. This is because many people travel to come here and invest. And we shall benefit from this.
Huu uwanja wa ndege utakapojengwa Serengeti hapa.
Once this airport is built in Serengeti, it will make it easy for tourists to travel from Kilimanjaro to Serengeti.
The completion of the airport will bring relief to tourists, as currently they incur high costs by flying to other regions before coming to Serengeti National Park.
Serikali ya awamu ya 6 inatarajia kujenga kiwanja cha ndege cha kimataifa.
The Sixth Phase government is expected to build an international airport which will be responsible to provide services to tourists. This airport will be constructed in Mugumu district in Serengeti, and it will be hosting international tourist flights.
Utatumika ni kwa mwaka mzima.
This airport will be used throughout the year. This means it will bring tourists throughout the year.
The Mara region urged the Ministry of Transport to speed up the construction of the airport as the residents of the region feel the urge to see the project kicked off.
In other news, the management of the Maibo Market, well known for fresh foods and other services, has put in place a significant improvement plan to improve the market's infrastructure, including repairing roads and open areas used for loading and unloading goods. This initiative aims to address challenges facing by vehicles and people, especially during the rainy season. Godfrey Mbwama, who is the Maibo Market manager, emphasizes how imperative the renovations are as a major step towards creating a more conducive work environment for the traders and customers, and hence expand business opportunities for the market.
We plan to make sure that our markets have been improved in terms of infrastructure, and we started to construct the drainage system in order to remove waters which were challenging the businesses people in this area. And also we managed to construct these sheds, 3 sheds. We are now planning to construct this road and this parking area in terms of concrete in order to remove the challenge that these people who are selling bananas are facing always once it is raining.
Doing business at the market for over 15 years, Nasibu Mohange, one of the traders at the market, shares his views on the importance of improving the market's infrastructure.
During the rainy season, when it is raining heavily here, the condition changes. The whole area will become muddy and slippery. So the trucks are not easy to get inside, and the business become difficult because customers are not coming in. And ourselves we come wet. But now we hear that our government has made some arrangements so the contractor will come and rectify this area. We thank the government very much. We thank Mama very much. I think later on we will be a very good place here.
When only one day is left before the year 2024 ends, it has become customary for people to conclude the year through various ways. The big question remains to be whether precautionary measures are taken to ensure safety when celebrating. Here's a report by Remy Yacinti, read by Faithangaga.
Regardless of the hardships that an individual may have gone through throughout the year, when it's time to welcome the new year, the situation is different. There are so many ways that everyone acknowledges God's glory when welcoming the new year. But in the middle of the joyous moment, there are people who celebrate recklessly without taking precautions for their personal safety.
Many people like to go to the clubs and celebrate without even caring about the safety of others. Personally, I don't like to celebrate New Year's with the vigor. It is a very special day compared to other days. Most people are usually not sure if they will witness the new year. Therefore, some celebrate with games and others go to other entertainment areas. Some makes a mess. Generally, this is because it is a special day.
The police force in the Morogoro region is on standby to deal with any situation that may arise due to the breach of law.
Sisi jeshi la polisi tunawahakikishia wananchi wote kwamba washerekee sherehe zote hizo mbili.
The police force urges citizens to celebrate peacefully. The police will ensure safety is guaranteed.
The management of the Tanzania Revenue Authority, TRA, in Mbeya region has acknowledged tax compliance consistency expressed by the financial institutions in the region, including banks, by adhering to tax laws and regulations and being transparent on financial details to the relevant tax authorities. The TRA manager in Mbeya region, Musibu Shaban, made the remarks when he made a visit to identify and motivate large and small taxpayers in the region, aiming to plan more strategies to ensure more income collection for the coming year, 2025. Here's a report by Hosea Cheo, read by Faida Ngaga.
It's the expression of appreciations and acknowledgement to the large taxpayers, including various banks in the Mbeya region.
When speaking about the biggest taxpayers in the country, you must talk about the banks. They are important institutions to development of the nation. Let's appreciate their contribution to the nation.
Some representatives of the financial institutions, including banks in the Mbeya region, vow to continue paying taxes voluntarily without compulsion.
We promise to continue to show cooperation so that our nation can collect revenue as required.
Tutaziheshimu zile notice tunazoletewa ili kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba serikali inapata mapato yake.
We shall continue to respect all the notices given to us to ensure that the government gets its income accordingly.
Kwa tunawaahidi kwa mwaka mwingine wa mwaka 2025,
we promise you that in 2025 we shall cooperate well in tax collection.
Small and medium business taxpayers have been recognized by TRA in the Mbeya region.
While the world and America are mourning the death of the 39th President of the United States, Jimmy Carter, who will be remembered as the oldest living former U.S. president and the first to reach 100 years, he led enduring foreign policy initiatives, including a peace deal between Israel and Egypt, the normalization of relations with China, and the treaties that gave Panama control of the Panama Canal from the U.S. We are joined by Abdulrazak Shakur from the United States.
Well, there are a number of things, but mostly we will call him an ex-president who worked more than when he was president during his term. But he was a humanist. He was a human rights defender. He defended the youth. He defended social equality, and he defended mostly the poor. He was ready to work for the poor and for everybody equally during his whole lifetime. So he will be remembered for those pillars, and the youth should remember him that he defended human rights a lot, so that he was one who was not afraid to present himself in any case. He was ready to defend any case as long as it will bring a positive result. He was ready to defend human rights, equality, and social justice.
And how is America mourning Jimmy Carter?
Well, America is touched by different ways with Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter will be remembered as a president who had a very short term of one term, where he worked hard to bring together Egypt and Israel with the Camp David Accord. So people are remembering him as a peacemaker. People are remembering him. He was trying to bring justice in the country. He started his political career as a civil rights union leader. He worked in Georgia. He worked with Martin Luther King to make sure that justice is achieved for everybody. He was one who worked hard for the South African liberation movement. When he took governorship of Georgia, he said, from today, this is the end of racism. So he was somebody who touched every part of American life. He worked with humanity for a lot of times. He worked with a lot of people in different fields, especially the health center. He worked with the Carter Center. He used it as a way to help people and bring poverty down. So he is remembered by Americans in different ways, be it political, social justice, health, and leadership, as well as human rights.
What lessons should be taken into consideration towards the achievement of Jimmy Carter on matter related to promotion of peace, love around the world?
The thing is that you should not give up hope. He wanted hope for Africa. He wanted hope for the world. Jimmy Carter will be remembered for somebody who dared taking action. He said, you should dare do something. He was somebody who would listen to the two sides and make sure that he listens and then come with a solution. He listened to people from the both sides and called for peace. He's somebody who worked with everyone to make sure that peace is achieved. You can remember not only in Egypt and Israel, he also talked with Museveni and Bashar al-Bashir of Sudan to bring peace between Uganda and Sudan. So he has participated in a number of things, and he is considered a leader who is very patient, knowledgeable, and very humble to do things ready for women, youth, and every state of life, and was ready to volunteer his time for anything that will alleviate the lives of human beings.
Thank you so much, Abdul Shakur Aboud, all the way from the Voice of America. He was talking about the death of the late Jim Carter. The Deputy Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Finance, Amina Khamis Shaban, on behalf of the Permanent Secretary, Dr. Natu Al-Mamri Mwamba, has met and held talks with the President of the Institute of Internal Auditors, Tanzania IIA, Dr. Zelia Nzeza, at the Ministry's office in Dodoma. During the meeting, they discussed the best way to collaborate in promoting the auditing profession in the country, whereby the meeting was also attended by the Internal Auditor General Benjamin Magai, the Executive Director of the Institute of Internal Auditors Tanzania, Saif Hassan, and Strategy and Business Development Officer of the Institute, Iklim Issa. Following the scores of people being killed when a passenger jet crash landed in South Korea on yesterday, with 101 people on board and only 2 crew members being the only survivors, making the aviation disaster to be South Korea's deadliest in more than 2 decades. We are joined by Sunday Simi, a Tanzanian living in South Korea.
Yes, the latest news that we are having here at this moment is that the Aviation Authority and the Ministry of Transport today, from Monday, they have started throughout the investigation, because as you are aware, this was the deadly incident that took a life of 179 people, leaving only 2 survivors. Both were crew members. The other issue that came out was the fact that the landing gear malfunction. As you have probably seen different videos from different medias, that the airplane was actually landing without having the landing gear extended. So a lot of analysts have been saying that could have possibly be one of the reasons why the flight actually went up into the crashing. But also other people, they claim the existence of the concrete wall in front of the running way, because as you know, the landing just happened without having the landing gear, but still the plane was able to accelerate. It struck the concrete wall at the end of the running way, and that was the time when we saw a huge flame, and also the plane was just scattered into different pieces. Right now, according to the news that we have received, some people actually canceled their reservation in Jeju Airlines, and also the Jeju Airlines as well themselves. They're really trying to informing the citizens and the people at large that this is they're just taking the responsibility for what happened, and also they are going to work together with the government to make sure the investigation is happening. But also on the other side, people have feelings, people are angry, and people are worried. So you will have, in some sort of ways, some people who are going not to trust Jeju Air. So that would actually happen in the future. Based on the news that we have received right now, they are continuing well in different hospitals, and one of them is in the ICU, and the other survivor is actually in another hospital who is actually not in the ICU. So right now they're all doing well.
In case you missed any of our news stories, remember you can always go to our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and watch anytime, anywhere. Before concluding the local news tonight, let's take a look at today's exchange rate according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TVC News every weekday to know all the latest in the exchange rates. It's now time for the international news. Up next is the international news.
The former president of the United States, Jimmy Carter, has died at the age of 100. Carter, who was president between 1977 and 1981, died on Sunday at his home in Plains, Georgia. U.S. President Joe Biden said the world lost an extraordinary leader, statesman, and humanitarian. President Joe Biden has declared January 9 a national day of mourning for Jimmy Carter, calling on Americans to visit their places of worship to pay homage to the late U.S. leader. He was awarded the 2002 Nobel Peace Prize for work to find peaceful solutions to international conflicts, to advance democracy and human rights, and to promote economic and social development. Serbia has charged 13 people, including former transport minister, over the collapse of a train station roof, which killed 15 people last month. It triggered weeks of protests against the president and his government. Many have blamed the deaths on corruption and inadequate oversight of projects' construction. Former transport minister resigned over that incident. At least 71 people have died in a road accident in southern Ethiopia. According to the Regional Communication Bureau, a truck packed with passengers plunged into a river in Sidama State, south of Ethiopia's capital, Addis Ababa. And 3 people have died and 50 others rescued after a small boat capsized in an attempt to cross the English Channel from France. According to French Maritime Services, several people fell into the water trying to board the overcrowded vessel. The French Navy deployed a helicopter to help rescue the migrants.
And that was the international news as compiled and read to you by Lulua Mohammed. Sports news is up next. And in sports, Kilimanjaro Stars head coach Ahmed Ali says he expects the selected players for Mapinduzi Cup will maximize the selection and showcase their talents gearing up for CAF African Championship Chan 2025. Ahmed told TBC News in Dar es Salaam that every player is expected to prove himself during the Mapinduzi Cup tournament as one of the key factors to be selected for Chan 2025 squad. The Kilimanjaro Stars has been announced today with a total of 28 players, 10 of whom are from the youth team under the age of 20. Ngorongoro Heroes.
Under 20,
for Youth AFCON and the Chan tournaments, we have tried to see how we can use this competition to start building a more competitive team, including even male players.
Tanzania boxing professional chairman Japhet Kaseba calls on boxers to undergo proper medical tests before getting into the boxing ring for any fight to prevent injuries or death which might happen during the bout. Kaseba urges doctors to work together with boxers in ensuring they are fit enough to fight to avoid fatal consequences.
Wana tabia kuangalia uzito
Often as boxers we measure weight and heart rate, but I think now it's necessary to go deeper into testing. Even if it's done 14 days before the fight, it will be much better for boxers to understand their health condition.
This is becoming into spotlights after one boxer, Hassan Mgaya, confirmed dead in Mwananyamala Hospital following confronting a technical knockout during his fight held over the weekend in Dar es Salaam. And that's the end of the sports news. Before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let's take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Dear viewers, and thank you for joining us for the next 24 weather forecast from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. By starting with windy patterns and wind expected to flow at the speed of 10 km per hour for Lake Nyasa and at the speed of 20 km per hour for Lake Victoria together with Lake Tanganyika, while for the entire coast, wind is expected to flow at the speed of 30 km per hour and the state of the sea is expected to be moderate. And for tonight we expect southwestern Highland together with southern region to feature as partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas, while for the rest part of the country are expected to feature as partly cloud conditions. And for tomorrow we expect southwestern Highland, southern part of Morogoro together with southern region to feature as cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas and sun interval. While for the western part of the country is expected to feature as partly cloud condition, thunder showers over a few areas and sun periods. While for the central part of the country is expected to feature as partly cloud condition, rain showers over a few areas and sun periods. While for the northern part of Morogoro, Dar es Salaam, Pwani, Lindi together with Mtwara regions are expected to feature as partly cloud condition, light rain showers over a few areas and sun periods. While for the rest part of the country are expected to feature as partly cloud condition and sun periods. Let us see next 4 days forecast from different cities and regions. Dar es Salaam light rain and sun period is expected. The maximum temperature at 32 degrees. Dodoma light rain is expected. The maximum temperature is 29 degrees. Mbeya thunder showers are expected. The maximum temperature is 26 degrees. Mwanza thunder showers are expected. The maximum temperature is 28 degrees. Kilimanjaro sun period is expected. The maximum temperature is 30 degrees. Morogoro light rain is expected. The maximum temperature is 32 degrees. Arusha sun period is expected. The maximum temperature is 26 degrees. I'm Rebecca Williams from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. Thank you and have a good night.
And that marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. Wishing you all the best in your New Year's resolutions. On behalf of the whole team, I'm Kanki Mwegomole. Good night.
Unaangalia TBC1, ukweli na uhakika.